Hey everybody, I'm going to do the two-way table. If you didn't see me do the frequency table, I do suggest you start with the frequency table. You guys can see I'm actually on that sheet still. Okay, so I want to go through and do the two-way table. The two-way table essentially works very, very similarly, but what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use both of my categorical variables. So I have here my positions. There were the 4 positions that any team could have, any skater could have. The next thing that I want to add is I want to add some possible teams. That's what TM stands for here. So I have a few favorites, and I'm going to go ahead and put those up there. Sorry, I hit some weird keys here. Here's a few of my favorites. Now, I have to put them exactly as they appear here. If you make any differences, it's not going to count them. So let's put one more, LAK. So I'm looking, they have to match up exactly. If you make any difference here, they're not going to work. Now, I don't require that you do all of them, because there's 31 teams in the league. This would take a long time to get all the way across, and I have to write each one of those individually. So I'm not so worried that you do each one of those individually. A couple is fine. What did I do here? 4 or 5? 5 is great. So the formula that we use here is the Countifs formula. The only difference is that now I put an S there, so you can do multiple ifs. So what the Countifs is going to do is it's going to count, sorry, let me freeze this. So I want to use, it's going to count everything in this position, in this column, whether or not it's equal to left wing. So I went ahead and froze that because I'm going to slide things across. You don't have to slide things across. I just find that it's better. And I'm going to freeze the D column. I still want to be able to slide down. So that will count whether or not this says left wing. So the first one clearly says left wing, so it would count, but I'm going to do a second criteria. I'm going to ask that the team is equal to St. Louis. And for this one, I'm going to freeze the 1. So I'm asking for all of the left wingers that play for St. Louis. Oops, I made an error here. Sorry, at some point I clicked off. I need a comma, and then all of the things that play for St. Louis. So I did criteria range 2, and now I need the criteria. So I don't think it's terrible that I made a mistake in my video. I regularly make coding errors. So it looks like there were 4 left wingers for St. Louis. Now if I did this right, I should be able to drag this down and it should auto-complete. 4 left wingers, 5 right wingers, and 7 centermen, 10 defenders in my data set here. Pretty cool, pretty straightforward. What's really nice is if I did all of that things right, I should be able to drag across just like that. And look how beautiful that is. Notice that there's a whole bunch of zeros here for WAS. It's because WAS was not the abbreviation, it was WSH. So that's a good indicator that I made a mistake there. There you go, I make that little update and it works great. So I see that there are 4 of those guys. One of the ways I can double check this formula is on the formula bar. I'm looking for left wingers from Washington. So do I have D2? Yes, that's the left wingers. And do I have F1? Yes, that's from Washington. So I have a pretty good idea of my two-way table here. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's the two-way table. Not terribly complicated. We can do some things like the sum. I can do the sum of all of these 26 players for St. Louis. I can then drag that across if I'm clever here. We see that's about uniform across, even though Nashville has less defenders. They use less defenders in the season. I can also do a sum this way. That won't equal the frequency table I had before because I didn't include all of the teams here, just some teams that I was interested in. And then this sum down here will be all of the players that I've considered. So, you know, you can do some pretty clever things here now. You can play around with where things get borders and all that fun thing. I know some of my students really enjoy playing around with their borders and whatnot. But this is your two-way table. So the real trick to the two-way table is that Countifs function, and again, you're counting if they are both a left winger and from St. Louis, so it has to be both. I don't actually see an example here of where that's true. Here's a centerman from St. Louis, so that person went into this column. But you only get counted if you're in both, and that's a two-way table. That's the essence of it. All right, so happy studying. I know this one's a little more challenging, but play around with it. I know my formula here with the Countifs, the drag over formula, makes it look really easy. Programming this formula is not that easy. I definitely made a mistake as I was doing it here. All right, happy studying.